Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Feast of the Tabernacles. This is the day, the great day of Yahweh, the day that He was born. We have to give thanks because everyone else worships the Christmas, the pagan holiday. Jeremiah 10 will tell you the heathen way. I have a title. They profess to know Yahweh, but in their works they deny Him in Titus 1 chapter 1 verse 16. These are the people who profess to know Yahweh out here in your media, your government. In fact, they don't even tell you. They don't even talk about God no more because of the democracy. It's all anti. It's anti-God. You know, people ask you, well, what are you, a Republican or are you a Democrat? I say, well, neither at this point. But you say the national anthem. That's one way of knowing it. I mean, under what? One republic?
Yep.
Okay. Anyhow, these are the people of Judaism today, which you call Jews. They profess they know Yahweh, but in their works, everyone sees their works. But does it apply to Yahweh? Is it pertaining to law? Is it giving the law to the people of race mixing and however? Because that's the people that provide all this Judaism today. That's the ones who say that, hey, they know Yahweh, but in their works they definitely deny Him. We'll go ahead and pull up the first one. That's a reason why I blew up the scriptures a little better than the other ones. Anyway, Galatians 1 verse 8. But we, or an angel from heaven, preach any other gospel unto you than that which is we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. That's a witness of all the false prophets that go out and lie today. Mark 8 verse 38. If anyone is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will be ashamed of them when He comes in His Father's glory with the holy angels. The flesh, Emmanuel, the man, will be ashamed of them. Galatians 8:9. As we said before, so say I say I now again, if any man preach any other gospel unto you that then you have received, let him be accursed. Jeremiah 5:12. Jeremiah 5:12. They have belied Yahweh and said, it is not He, neither shall evil come upon us, neither shall we see the sword nor famine. It's like all the government, they don't believe the I'm not just going to put Democrats in just at a place, but because the Democrat and Republican, it's all the same bird, the left wing and the right wing. I mean, who they really work for? Jeremiah 7, verse 10. And come and stand before me in this house which is called by my name and say, we are delivered to do all these abominations. So they proclaim to know Yahweh, but they do all these abominations. I'm giving you the witnesses here of all the false prophets of chapter Matthew 7 verse 15. Beware of all the false prophets who come in sheep's clothing. They're ravenous wolves. Job 31:28. This also were an iniquity to be punished by the judge, for I should have denied Yahweh, God Yahweh that is above. Matthew 6:24. No man can serve two masters. That's a little simple there. For either we hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and Mammon, the other deities. 1 John 4:1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are Yahweh, because many false prophets are gone into the world, and they profess they know Yahweh, and they teach all this other stuff that doesn't. You can't mix race And that's what Judaism teaches you today, is mixing race. They even accepting, I seen on the internet, with it's gay spirit that's in religion now. So if that's not anti-Yahweh, I don't know what is, because if the book explicitly says that you're not supposed to be lying with another man, that's a disobedience, saying that you know Yahweh but you don't.
Stone
2 Timothy 2:12, if we endure, we will also reign with him. If we deny him, he will also deny us. Luke 12:1-9, meanwhile, when a crowd of many thousands have gathered so that they were trampling on one another, Emmanuel began to speak first to his disciples, saying, be on your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees. The Pharisees, the ones like the Pope, and which is hypocrisy. There is nothing concealed that will be not disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. Just as teachers today that teach about Yahweh and exposing this, we're uncovering the filth. Or hidden that will be made known. What you have said in the dark will be heard in the daylight. And what you have whispered in the ear in the inner rooms will be proclaimed from the roofs. I don't know if I have 12:19. I guess next. Must never finish that one. Okay. 1 Thessalonians 5:5. This is for the people. For you are, this is the sons of Jacob, Israel. Surname, actually, the name was changed to Caucasian, because if the Israelites went around the Caucasus Mountains, they gave them that latter name, Caucasian, Anglo-Saxon. Not a Jew. They're Yiddish people. They're Turco-Mongolian. They got 3-4 different mixes of DNA in there, Negro. That's why you got black people thinking that they're the chosen people too, and they're not. They're liars, thieves, and murderers. And these are the people that profess to know Yahweh, because in Revelation 2:9, we know this, that those who say that they are the Judites of Judah are liars, thieves, and murderers. For you are the sons of light and the sons of day. We do not belong to the night or nor darkness. You are the children of light and the children of day. We do not belong to the night or to the darkness. This is who we are. Yahweh says, these people come near to me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Their worship of me is based on merely human rules they have been taught. Therefore, once more, I will astound these people with wonder upon wonder. The wisdom of the wise will perish. The intelligence of the intelligent will vanish. And verse 15, woe to those who go to great death to hide their plans from, I should have changed it to Yahweh, but the translators put in Lord. We already know that it's been taken out at least, or give or take, 5,500 times in the books. I mean, it's surprising that Lord, it's all you see is Lord, Lord, Lord when it means Baal, and it's not an identity that it's YHVH, YHVH, and woe to those who hide their plans from YHVH, who do their work in darkness. Just like your Democrats, your Republicans, all the people that run this nation today, and you know they don't even announce that God bless America anymore. I mean, not even that no more. So, who see darkness and think who sees us, who will know? Verse 16, you turn things upside down as if a potter were thought to be like the clay. Shall what is formed say to the one who has formed it, you did not make me. Can you pot say to the potter? Can the pot say to the potter, you know nothing? That last scripture, it pertains in the book of Daniel too. how these people were going to hide everything under the bush. Just like over in the Vatican, the real true books, they got them hidden so they don't let other people have any education of whose real name and who's the true people of Israel. We were surnamed Israel because it was Israel, sons ruling with the Almighty. But that's been adulterated because we got a different breed running to say that they're the Judites. They're the Judah. In a very short time, will not Lebanon be turned into a fertile field, and the fertile field seem like a forest? In that day, the deaf will hear the words of the scroll, the parchments, the teachings, and out of the gloom and darkness the eyes of the blind will see. Those are the people of Jacob Israel, where they have no understanding who they are, where they're going. They just live their day. That's understandable. I understand that. I was there too. But when you come to know who Yahweh is and who you are, and you must be a people of Yahweh. Now, you don't. I understand this. You're not perfect. No one's perfect. I'm not saying that every day you got to have a beer and you got to do this and this and that. But put forth effort to know who Yahweh is and His people, His true people. Once more, the humble will rejoice in Yahweh. I didn't change that one. The needy will rejoice in the Holy One of Israel. The ruthless will vanish. The mockers will disappear. And all who have an eye for evil will be cut down. This is a Yahweh saying. Those who with a word make someone out to be guilty, who ensnare the defender in court, and with false testimony deprive the innocent of justice. Kind of like in my situation. They deprived me of my own justice, of my freedom of speech. So they want to throw me in jail.
It's everywhere today.
Exactly. You can't say nothing. You can't even say anything about a homosexual, because to us that is not normal. You're born one way, you leave out the same way. Same thing with a woman. They just have different duties. We're different, but it takes two to make up another body. So, therefore, this is what Yahweh, who redeemed Abraham, says to the descendants of Jacob. No longer will Jacob be ashamed. No longer will their faces grow pale. When they see among them, their children, the works of my hands, they will keep my name holy. They will acknowledge the holiness of the Holy One of Jacob, and will stand in awe of the Father, the God of Israel. Those who are wayward in spirit will gain understanding. Those who complain will accept instruction. So this is like the final blow. Even upon making, they profess to know Yahweh, because it's your final blow to know who you are. Because if you don't today, this world's crashing. It's crashing. It's coming fast. It's going to become one world communism, as we all talked about this all the time. And communism is Jewish, 100% Jewish, just like Christopher Columbus coming over here with their ideology and their drunkards or however. And there's so many stories for that. Isaiah 1, 2 through 16. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for Yahweh has spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel do not know, my people do not consider. All sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yahweh. They have provoked Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, unto anger. They have gone away backwards. not only it was backwards before, but we're totally 100% backwards. What is this country? Oh, the presidents today. The president today we have here, I mean, it's very scary because we don't truly know if he's really a pedophile, but many videos and many pictures that show something like that. And for what we're going to have after him, I don't know what's worse. I really don't. What, Dwight Eisenhower? One who creates DARPA for the DOD? It's a science project. I don't remember. Department of Defense Agency. What they do is they create technology for the Department of Defense, which is the military. And Dwight Eisenhower is the one that created this back in 1950, anywhere from 55 to 58. Well, anyhow, that'll be for another discussion. That doesn't go very far. They provoked the one of Israel. They had gone away back. Why should we be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart is faint. From the sole of the foot, even unto the head, there is no soundness. But the wounds and bruises and putrefying sores, they have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. I'm going to give you an understanding. It says that Adam was the bruise, the serpent will bruise his heel, or after working, and he, if you can understand what I'm talking about, it's got to be the heel. So, and then you got the heel, the sole of the foot here. What is it on your birth certificate? Your feet. So, from the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores that have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. This is today. This is all the people today that we're working hard, and all the other people are hardly working and getting paid more than the people that are working. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour in your presence, and it is desolate and is overthrown by strangers. Isn't this the same today? That all the refugees and all the mixed mongrels that are coming over this nation? It says in Revelations that they will flood you like a nation. I mean, it's going to happen. Everyone's going to come to, if you don't understand that Jerusalem, the New Jerusalem, in the center of that is USA, which is also Manasseh over here in America. Now, if you think about that, these Jews, they like to claim Israel, and that's the kingdom, they say. So now, if the true Jacob Israel claims that America is actually the, well, we'll say that the North American continent is the actual land of YHVH, because in the center of Jerusalem, the New Jerusalem is here. And if you go to Israel landmass, it's nothing but a litter box, right? So which one? I'm leaving that thought. Which one? Which place? Which place could be the place of the promised land, a land of milk and honey? Which one? And the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, and as a lodged in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. Except Yahweh of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as a Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah, as today. It's sick and filled with filth, with all your homosexuality. Hear the word of Yahweh, you rulers of Sodom. Give ear unto the law of Yahweh, you people of Gomorrah. 11. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith Yahweh? I am full of the burnt offerings of rams and in the fat of the fed beast, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks or lambs or goats. Why? Because when you come to appear before me, who had required this at your hand to tread my courts, that profess to know Yahweh, bring no more vain oblations, incense, and an abomination unto me, the new moons, and the Sabbath, the calling of the assemblies, I cannot away with. It is iniquity. Even the solemn meeting. Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hates. Well, what is Yahweh saying here? Is he talking about the other ones? The other people, the Jew, that go out here and have their Sabbath, their feast, their Sabbath? They are a trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. And when you spread forth your hands, I will hide my eyes from you. Yea, when you make many prayers, I will not hear them. Your hands are full of blood. Wash you, make you clean, put away, this is Jacob Israel, wash you, make you clean, put away all the evil, put all the stuff out of your mind, get rid of all of the infiltration that this world has, that has taught you, of your evil doings from before my eyes, and cease to do evil. Stop doing evil. Stop working too. Acts 20, verse 29. I know that after I leave, this is when Yahweh was in the flesh. He knew what was going to happen. After I leave, savage wolves will come in among you and will not spare the flock. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith Yahweh. Matthew chapter 7, verse 15, for all the false prophets who come in sheep's clothing. There's only one way you could come in sheep's clothing. As if you had to mix with a Cain race, which Esau did, and now you have a white Caucasian that's got the DNA of a serpent blood. So there's your clothing. There's the difference between a Jew and you. Therefore say Yahweh of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, the lies, the Judaism, you have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith Yahweh. The ones who profess to know Yahweh, and they deny him according to the works of the law. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all the countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. In verse 4, I will set up shepherds. Some more thing. I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, no more be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith Yahweh, not Lord. Behold, the days are coming, says Yahweh, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, a king shall, and prosper, shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. And the days of Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is his name, YHVH, whereby he shall be called Yahweh, Emmanuel, our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that they shall no more say, Yahweh liveth, which brought up to the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But Yahweh liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all the other countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. My heart within me is broken because of the prophets that profess to know Yahweh, but they in their works they deny him. All my bones shake. I am like a drunken man, and like a man whom wine have overcome, because of Yahweh and because of the words of his holiness. For the land is full of adulterers, for because of the swearing, the land mourneth, the pleasant places of the wilderness are dried up, and their course is evil, and their force is not right. For both prophet and priest are profane. For both teachers and your pastors and your pope are profane. Yea, in my house have I found their wickedness, saith Yahweh. Wherefore their way shall be unto them as a slippery ways in the darkness. They shall be driven on, and that fall therein, for I will bring evil upon them, and even the year of their visitation, saith Yahweh. And I have seen folly in the prophets of Samaria. They prophesy in Baal, they prophesy in the name of Jesus, God, Lord, whatever name they can use, and cause my people to err. Jacob, Israel, to err. They follow the pastors and the false teachers. I have seen also the prophets of Jerusalem, and a horrible thing, they committed adultery. You see, people don't know or understand the term of adulterers when they adulterate the seed and walk in lies and teaching lies. They strengthen also the hands of evildoers. And our people don't realize that they do that. None doeth return from his wickedness. They are all of them unto me as Sodom, and in the inhabitants of thereof as Gomorrah, Yahweh said. Therefore, says Yahweh of hosts concerning the prophets, behold, I will feed them warm wood and make them drink the water of gall. But from the prophets of Jerusalem is profaneness gone forth into all the land. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets of today, people of today, and that prophesy unto you, that make you vain. They speak a vision of their own heart, and not of their own mouth of Yahweh. They say still unto them that despise me, Yahweh has said, you shall have peace. And they say unto everyone that walketh after the imagination of his own heart, no evil shall come upon you. Should be a question mark. No evil shall come upon you? And that's not what Yahweh says. For those who have stood in the counsel of Yahweh and have perceived and heard his word, who have marked his word and heard it, behold, a whirlwind of Yahweh is gone forth in fury, even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked. The anger of Yahweh shall not return until he have executed, until he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days of these days today, you shall consider it perfectly. It's going to happen. I have not sent these prophets, Yahweh said, yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. But if they had stood in my counsel and had caused my people to hear my words, the sound doctrine of Yahweh's law, true law, then they should have turned from their evil way and from the evil of their doings. Verse 23. Am I a God at hand? Am I Yahweh at hand? Says Yahweh, and Yahweh said, and not a God far off? Can anyone hide himself in secret places? There's no hiding from Yahweh when that day comes. There's no hiding whatsoever. You will be found. Do not I fill the heaven and earth, says YHVH? I have heard what the prophet said that prophesies lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed about a rapture. That makes perfect sense. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Like the people today. They prophesy lies. They don't tell who's who and who's Jew. How long shall they be in the prophecy lies? Yea, they are prophets of deceit of their own heart, which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams. Good point, forgetting the name, because they keep calling it Lord, God, Jesus. Jesus was never in the books until after the Constantine, known as a man, comes to Nicaea, 320 maybe AD, right around that time, when they burned up all the books, and then Constantine, known as a man, took the books and for their own gain, which caused their name, dreams which they can tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal deity, Baal God. If you look that up, go look that up, it might bring you up a bowl. The prophet that have a dream, let him tell a dream. And he that has my word, let him speak my word faithfully. What is the chaff to the wheat, saith Yahweh? Is not my word like as a fire, saith Yahweh, and like a hammer that breaks it to pieces? Therefore, behold, I am against all the prophets, saith YHVH, that steal my words, every one from his neighbor. They take Yahweh's words, and then they interlock it to break that barrier with other people, so they can seduce you with their ideology, when it's not sound doctrine. This is for you Jews out there. This is who you are. You are the people that profess to know Yahweh, but in your works you deny Him, because every time you go out there, you perform homosexuality, you perform pedophilia, you perform everything in the book that Yahweh tells you not to do other than the law. The law is so simple. You have your 10 commandments, and then you have your common laws. Would you rather live by that, or would you rather live by 500,000 laws that's in this country today? Oh no, we got to drive these electric cars today. Oh no, we got to save on green energy. But wait a minute, does plants, don't they thrive off of carbon? Don't our body produce carbon? Don't the trees take carbon and produce good air? So if you get rid of, what a bunch of baloney that they talk about. All they do is they just want to make more money, because it's going to cost you more money to even get a motor for that car, let alone to, except the one that takes gas. These Democrats, and however, I'm not pulling a political status because I'm not in a political deal here. But behold, I'm against the prophets of Yahweh, that they use their tongues and say, He saith, that Yahweh says this is what they think of, the ideology they want you to understand. Behold, I am against them that prophesy false dreams. And this is mentioned so many times, the false prophets. I mean, if you can't get it, how many false prophets? Behold, I am against them that prophesy false dreams, saith YHVH, and do tell them and cause my people to err by their lies and by their likeness. Yet I sent them not, nor commanded them, therefore they shall not profit this people at all, says Yahweh. You're going to go nowhere. You go to the same dumb stuff, you go to the same churches, you give up the same money, it never ends, you keep going back. How many teachers that have to teach today that come up dead in some other way, that profess to know who Yahweh is, the true name of Yahweh, and stay in with the law, and who the enemy is, that teach who the enemy is? All the prophets that come out of this book, from the beginning of Genesis to Revelation, everyone had their testimony. And those are your true people that professed they knew Yahweh and did their works accordingly. And when these people, or the prophet or priest, shall ask thee, saying, What is the burden of Yahweh? Thou shalt then say unto them, What burden? I will even forsake you, says Yahweh. And as for the prophet and the priest and the people that shall say, The burden of Yahweh, I will even punish that man and his house. Thus shall you say, everyone to his neighbor and everyone to his brother, what have YHVH answered, and what have the Yahweh spoken? So they're trying to say, well, I don't hear God, I don't hear Yahweh, I don't hear that. And the burden of YHVH shall you mention no more, for every man's word shall be his burden. For you have perverted the words of the living Father Yahweh, of Yahweh of hosts, our God, our Father. He's our Father and God to the other races. Thus shall you say to the prophet, what have YHVH answered thee, and what have YHVH spoken? But since you say, the burden of YHVH, therefore saith Yahweh, because you say this word, the burden of Yahweh, and I have sent unto you, saying, you shall not say the burden of Yahweh, therefore, behold, even I, will utterly forget you, and I will forsake you, and the city that I gave you and your fathers, and cast you out of my presence. And I will bring an everlasting reproach upon you, and a perpetual shame which shall not be forgotten. Anyhow, there was many witnesses in them scriptures that I could have put so much more into this, but the time frame of this, so I wanted to bring a lot of PowerPoints into there, and it's in color. As you see, here's a perfect picture. You have the Almighty here, and you have their own father. Adam, here's Cain. Shem, the Semite, the Shemite people, the Shem. Ashkenazis, Hebrew. Esau, Abraham. See here, you got Esau, Abraham. Why? How come Esau shouldn't it be over here? No, because it's over here. Because that's their family. Isaac, the Yisak sons, Saxons, not the Edomians. See how the name changes as it comes down, as we concerning today, we're Saxons. And if I should have brought a map up, Jacob Israel, surnamed Israel, was also changed the Caucasians, the Saxon people. The 13 tribes of 13 states, and here's their offspring of the two-legged serpent of Genesis 3:15. Now, the 13 tribes, people were thinking, well, I thought there was only 12. Anyhow, you got the next one, last one. This is the reason why it's 13 right here. I drew this when I was in jail. Can you go up a little bit? That's the family there. You got Isaac over here and Esau and Edom. Edom goes nowhere. Edom goes nowhere on that. Anyhow, you got Gad, Asher, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, Benjamin, Ephraim, Manasseh, Dan, and Naphtali. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wait a minute, did I do that correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the Levi is the teachers. That's your 13 when in Genesis 48:14, where it tells you that Jacob had performed his right hand over to Ephraim and his left hand over to Manasseh. Well, they performed the cross arms, which are formed of an X. And that's why over there in Scotland they have the flag and it's an X. And then they brought it over here to America and this is the X. So everybody hates that flag, but all these, that's the symbology of the tribe. Genesis 48:14, Jacob's crossed arms blessing. The family of Yahweh there. So they talk about the 12, but there's a reason why there was 13. So, anyhow, I brought enough food for thought for people today. We can sit and ponder about this, because if you don't think about it now and profess to know who Yahweh is and know who you are, but don't listen to those people out there, especially on YouTube, because I can't post nothing. I get kicked off quicker than quick. I didn't even put anything to do with anything of type of racism, and they won't accept my video. So anyway, here's my title. They profess to know Yahweh? Question mark. My name's Aaron Irvin. This is the Feast of Tabernacles. The Hebrew month in the calendar is Tishri, Saturday, October 8th, 2022. I should have put a D there, but I'm also being a comedian. I'm on the Podbean right here, www.podbean.com, and mine is Airfire22. I want to put the fire under the feet of all the people in there, because if I can't seem to do it in particular areas, I'll go on there and I'll put up a little debate. I like it. Let's debate about something. So come on there and let's walk in some fire. I got a lot of questions too. So anyhow, thank you for your time, and again, Yahweh bless. And enjoy your feast. So be it.